Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of The Lock Shop. Dusty and Huss back with you once again. I am still in my basement. At least it's not my parents' basement anymore. I'm in my basement. Huss is in Nashville. I'm insanely jealous. And Huss, it's buzzing down there right now, isn't it, Huss?
It absolutely is, dude. And I mean, like everyone that follows the Winnipeg Jets in particular, we've sort of been on pins and needles waiting for word that this deal is happening. And you know, as we go live just after 12:20 Central Time here, our pal Murat Atesh at The Athletic has just tweeted out that the deal is imminent. If that is the case, shout out to you, Kevin Chevaldayoff, for finally being considerate of Winnipeg sports talk time. Because I mean, there's been a bunch of things that have happened at like 3:30 on Friday,
just
right
the
after
worst.
we hit the show. That's not the case today. And listen, most of the general.
Oh, we lost him. He's on this weird connection in Nashville right now where he disappears for just 2 seconds, but then he comes back. He's back. Perfect. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Chevy would not plan to speak today while most of the other GMs are doing that. We'll cut him some slack on that if he gets things done first on this deal, and then obviously we'll find out what's up with Hellebuck and with Mark Scheifele.
So what's this deal? What's the deal? It's Kupari, Velarde,
and Iafallo. And
man.
I mean, reportedly it'll be PLD, I believe Jansen Harkins, and maybe another piece. So as I say,
that's a nice return, buddy, considering the situation. Like,
yeah, no doubt. I mean, put it this way: if he does go to the LA, I'm just personally happy that I will be able to dunk on all of the Habs fans in my mentions that have been in my grill for the last 2 months about how the Jets are going to get screwed and he's going to be going there for free in a year. So anyways, that is nice. But we are in the draft. This is a bit of a slow time as far as for games. We'll get to the CFL in the next couple days. But tonight we do have some draft bets, and got to tell you, it's being around here and talking to more and more of the so-called draft experts gives us a little bit of an idea about where we're going to go on these lines. You're a big draft Nick Dust.
There he goes. Disappeared again. But he's right. I am a big draft guy. I would have loved to have been at the draft in Nashville this year. But as us mentioned, my first draft I covered was the Jonathan Toews draft in 2006. After the lockout, I missed the one draft, the Darnell Nurse draft. I can't remember when that was because I was, I think I had my grandma's funeral. But then outside of that, man, I've been at most of the drafts, and I love draft week. Like I wish I was there with you, buddy. It's an absolutely tremendous time. And I would have tried to get to the bottom of who the hell voted Connor McDavid fifth. And tell me who was it? Who did it?
I wanted to know if they were going to put odds on who was the lone vote that made McDavid the non-unanimous Hart Trophy winner. And it wasn't just didn't go number one, voted him at fifth. Believe the the Pro Hockey Writers
PHWA.
Yeah, they've just released the votes. Come on down, Seth Rorabaugh in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh guy. What?
Yeah. Not as good of a leader as Sidney Crosby.
I was going to say somebody can't win a unanimous if it's not Sid. That was, I mean, what a horrible vote. Like, I'm sorry, man. Connor McDavid, fifth. Connor McDavid was the fifth most valuable player in the league this year. That's a joke. It's a joke, Huss. All right, draft betting. Let's get into it, buddy. What do you got? What are you hearing? What do you like? And there's a lot of options at Coolbet. Hey, Remo, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, Remo, special guest star, getting everything ready for it.
Tell Remo that his signal strength is good. Your strength is good.
The CTO is figuring out why we might be
technical officer. Now you're muted. Now I can't hear you, Huss. The CTO has just made things extremely more difficult as they try to figure it out. Huss is at the draft, presented to you by Coolbet, actually. Coolbet helped Huss get down there to do the draft from Nashville, where obviously it's a big time for Winnipeg. But Oilers fans, if you're looking for some coverage, obviously the Oil Stream will have a new episode on Wednesday. 2 Guys and a Goalie will be breaking it down as well. And there are a ton of markets I don't know if the boys froze. I think they probably froze. We'll see what happens there. But there are a ton of markets right now. Somebody screen cap those guys frozen right next to me. That would be great. I can't do it. Right now, if you go to coolbet.com, click on NHL Draft. You can get in on total CHL players selected in the first round at 11.5. That's minus 145 on the over. Under is plus 109. If you click on the draft specials tab, the top 10, obviously there's a few guys who are just locks to be in the top 10, so much so that they're not even available to you, but there's a pretty good list there otherwise. And hey, there he is. The CTO figured out us or what?
Yeah, we've all figured it out. Decisions get made quickly, action is taken, and we are back. But yes, Seth Rorabaugh was the one. I was thinking, I mean, literally, how many people did you say, does Jack Edwards have a vote?
Yeah.
Because the minute you saw it was Pasta too. But yeah, we will get to the draft. And I do remember the time that we really got to be buddies was back at the, was it the 15-16 draft? We call it the Line A draft. People in Toronto call it the Matthews draft. In Edmonton, they call it the
Puljujärvi draft. Yeah.
And I was sitting right beside you after Line A pick. We were all excited. Line A was coming down. Columbus was on the clock. And of course, man of the day, PLD.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
And I looked over at you and that shitty grin on your face because, yes, Puljujärvi was coming to Edmonton. Oh, man, it's funny how the years have gone and where we were at for all of it. But yeah, listen, I've got 3 quick draft bets. And again, I'm sure you just mentioned this while we were reconnecting, but cool bet. There's so much going on. 2nd overall, 3rd overall, 4th overall, 5th overall. One pick I've given out before. This will be of particular interest to folks in Winnipeg and still a really good number. We're getting plus 200 on Zach Benson to go in the top 8, which is under 8.5. Listen, I've talked to a ton of people, and Benson is thought of as, you know, a guy that is in just that next tier right after the 5th pick of those top 5 that are sort of the consensus top 5 players in this draft. He's a guy that has all the intangibles. He is a little smaller. There's some people that don't think his skating isn't quite elite, but man, there's a lot of people really going to bat for him, and it's really only going to take one general manager, potentially in Philadelphia. Maybe even Washington if Mitchkoff's already gone. Listen, I just think there's some great value at Benson in the top 8 at plus 200, which is one of the biggest numbers we've seen on the board. Other number is interesting. Oliver Moore of the U.S. National Development Team. His over-under is 14.5. I'm going to take the over on Moore, and part of it is I've seen Moore falling to the Jets in a few mocks. And I think that would be a great situation for Winnipeg fans if he was able to get there. So over 14.5 for Oliver Moore at minus 110. And then I got to take a swing on something in these, you know, with some plus money in the top 4 or top 5 picks. Carlson is minus 175 to go to Columbus in 3. Will Smith, his number is plus 300. Considered 3. But to me, Mitchkoff's the most interesting player in this draft. You know, I've always talked to him and I asked draft guys, if he was from Medicine Hat and not Moscow, where would he go? Probably in and around number 2. I have a feeling that the San Jose Sharks might surprise some teams at 4 by taking Mitchkoff. I don't think they feel that they're going to be contending anytime in the next couple of years. I think that they can wait. And I think they probably believe of the players available to them at that time, who can change a franchise the most. I think Mitchkoff is that guy. So at plus 310, Mitchkoff to go 4th overall to San Jose. I like the value on that, and I'm going to give that a little sprinkle as well. So Benson plus 200 in the top 8, Moore over 14.5 at minus 110, and we're going to jump on plus 310 for Mitchkoff going to San Jose 4th overall.
I've got a couple other ones that we can throw in the mix here. And like I said, when they were connected, we reconnected Huss there. Tons of different markets. So NHL draft fans, hop online, cool bet on the Nielsen Media Cool Bet Network. Use the code LOCKSHOP when you sign up. If you haven't signed up yet, if you want to dabble in it, stay cool and bet responsibly, but use the code LOCKSHOP when you sign up. You get 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. I've got 2. You just mentioned Mitchkoff. This is one that I usually like to play nowadays, and it's not great value. It's minus 189, I believe, right now, but give me under 3.5 Russians in the first round. of this draft. So I'm going to get on under 3.5 Russians in the first round of this draft. We'll see what ends up happening on that front. And then Tom Wallinder, Swedish defenseman, plus 125 to go in the top 10. It's not a D-heavy draft at the top end of this thing, Huss, but I do think in that 8, 9, 10 range. I mean, what's it? Reinbacher, who's another guy that many are projecting to be in the top 10. It'd be very strange to see an NHL draft where defensemen are so important to only see one guy go in the top 10. So I do like Wallinder at plus 125 to end up in the top 10 as well, buddy. So put that one down on the list with some pretty good value at plus 125.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, this is a really interesting draft. We've been talking about this draft for the last 2 or 3 years. It's finally here. Bedard's going number 1. I would think Fantilli is the clear-cut number 2, although it's interesting to see that number has come down a little bit, if you've noticed. It's minus 688. It's minus 500 right now. And Leo Carlsson just got here after having to drive all night with his family after his flight was canceled. So he'll get some draft interviews right now, and tomorrow we'll really get into it and see what happens when the names start flying off the board. That being said, for us here for Winnipeg Sports Talk, we'll see if any other names fly from Winnipeg. Still waiting on confirmation as to the official trade of Pierre-Luc Dubois to the LA Kings, and then Kevin Cheveldayoff to go to number 2, 3, 4, 5 on his to-do list, starting off with Connor Hellebuck and potentially even Mark.
What a great time for Winnipeg Sports Talk. My God, I am jealous of the offseason that you guys have fallen upon here, buddy. That's going to be great.
Listen, you know what? You're still kicking ass doing these CFL games, but if the schedule works out, we got to get the band together in Vegas next year for the NHL draft. I think that's mandatory.
We don't even need credentials to go to the draft, man. Let's just get down there. That'd be fine. Hey, before we wrap up, we usually talk about a lot of different sports. I just want to quickly get to this because Jake tweeted us this or texted us this in our Lock Shop group. Alek Manoah's first start in the Florida Complex League. 2.2 innings pitched, 11 earned runs, 10 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 2 bombs.
What?
I don't know how you leave him in for 11 earned runs in 2 2/3. Like, get that guy out of there. You sent him down there to rebuild his confidence. Like,
this isn't even the Dunedin Blue Jays. This is like,
yeah.
Oh,
that's
was
concerning.
He not finalist for Cy Young last year?
Yes, he was top 5, but he was top 3. He was top 3 last year in Cy Young voting.
That is.
Oh man.
Well, if you can lose it that quick, you can get it back that quick.
Positive insight.
Alek Manoah. Yeah. Hey, and speaking of getting it back, once again, the rock of the Blue Jays rotation,
Kikuchi,
continues to do it. I told you all at the start of the year, you too, Jake, JD Bunkus, before the season, don't sleep on Kikuchi. He's getting it done right now, and hopefully the Jays can win. But that Manoah story is absolutely mind-boggling where he is at right now. Sad, but hopefully he'll get it turned around.
Jake, good looking out. Good looking out, passing that along while we're live. Huss, you have fun in Nashville today. Big show coming up with Winnipeg Sports Talk. Obviously, no doubt about that. I'll have the Lock Shop play of the day on Cool Bet Socials a little bit later on. We'll be talking draft. We'll be talking golf tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we'll set up all 4 games. I guess there's only 3 games this week in the Canadian Football League. We'll set those up for you on Thursday as well. Tell your friends about the Lock Shop, brought to you by our great partners over at Cool Bet. Huss, we'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
Yeah, you got it. We are coming up live at 1 o'clock. Winnipeg Sports Talk at the draft in Nashville, brought to you by CoolBet. And the one and only Patrick Gregoire will also be making an appearance.
Yes.
Talking a little bit more draft towards the end of the show. So join us on YouTube coming up at the top of the hour. Thanks, Dusty. We'll talk to you tomorrow for a big one.